Christine Ahern. Chris, so what can you tell us?
Lara, very little, unfortunately. Because of a legal ban, we are prevented from revealing the identity of this person, any details about the case or their crime. All we can say is that here at Nine, we believe that this is a story that needs to be told, and we and other members of the Australian media are working hard to tell it. Of course, the major newspapers around Australia are also very restricted in what they can report on, and they've taken to the front pages to vent their frustration. The Herald Sun here in Melbourne says, censored. The world is reading a very important story that is relevant to Victorians. The Herald Sun is prevented from publishing details of this significant news, but trust us, it's a story you deserve to read. Australian laws don't apply overseas, so the international media are able to report this story without the same restrictions. Rest assured, as soon as we are allowed to, we will bring you more information. This person is next due in court in February. Lara.
All right, Christine.
The Pell case is one of the biggest in modern church history. National correspondent for the Tablet and Crux, Christopher White, joins us now. Christopher, thank you so much for being here with us on this very major story. The Cardinal is expected to appeal, but what's next for him as a priest? Has the Vatican even responded yet?
Liz, the Vatican has not responded, saying they respect the Australian sort of suppression order not to comment on this case and not to publicize it. The big question mark is, what does come next for him? Now, he has another trial that's slated to go forward in 2019. It's important to note, Liz, that both with the upcoming trial and this past trial, many observers in Rome, Australia, and even around the globe have said we have to sort of step back and think, is it possible that Cardinal Pell is capable of getting a fair trial at all because of the fact that his name has just become so tied to sexual abuse in Australia and beyond that many onlookers would say, it's impossible for him to receive a fair trial because so many jurors would be tainted by that. Now, we don't know, he's still a member of the College of Cardinals. He's 77. If a papal conclave happens in the next 3 years, he at this point could be eligible to vote for the next pope. So we'll see what sort of action comes down from the Vatican eventually.
Christopher, as we heard from Michelle, there was a media blackout. Why do you think that was?
The idea, of course, Liz, is that the prosecutors in Australia wanted to prevent any decision from this trial influencing the trial to come. So they've split the charges into two separate trials. And so it's a very common practice in Australia. Here in the U.S., it's unfamiliar territory for us, but there it is common practice. Now, it's important to note that this suppression order may be overturned.
What does this mean in Rome for the state of financial reform? He played a big role in that aspect.
A huge role. Now, his term was ending in this coming August already. Now, it seems Pope Francis will likely appoint someone very soon on that. I would suggest probably in the coming weeks, if not months. But it certainly casts a shadow over that because he has an entire staff in Rome that was a part of this process, and now they have this looming over them.
Is this something that the Pope would ever respond to in your experience with these types of things?
The Pope has a tendency to respect the verdict of one's own country, and we'll see. As we know, the Pope likes to talk about a lot of things, so we'll see.